fuck out of bed, bitch. Go. Get up, and then they got go. Time to wake up, bitch. Get up. Get up. Get up.
I must say, that song definitely gives me the tinglies. Freddie, do you also get the tinglies when you hear that song? Our poor friend Sheldon just keeps getting the tinglies, right? Whenever he hears that song. Like we living in a movie.
My tinglies are going off. I'm starting to get those tingles.
Welcome back, guys. I want you guys to just remember that 9935, as you see on your screen, is up for grabs this show. If we get 5,000 likes, 5,000 likes. We want to give away this NFT. I'm hearing there's going to be a big bid on this NFT. I think like 2 ETH or 3 ETH. Freddie, put in a bid for this NFT. Put in a bid from this NFT. All right, 5,000 likes and we give away number 9935 on the show. Let's get into the data of today. So we've had Bitcoin going up for 8 days in a row, 1 down day. And today, as there was a massive futures closeout with about $1.8 billion, we had Bitcoin putting back to 38,600, which was the point of max pain. So where to from here? Are we going up or are we going down? And what we're going to be talking about mainly in the show is why it's just too late. It's too late. I bet you want to know what I'm talking about, right? Because it's too late. And that's what we're going to be talking about today on the show, why it's too late. And as you know, today is Friday and it's a banter. So let's get through the formalities. If you're new to our channel, welcome. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. This is the Banter family. We are a family. We are the most loyal community, the most loyal crypto community on YouTube. And that's what YouTube tell us, not what we just make up. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, like our videos, spread the word that we're here. There's 1,000,001 reasons to be part of this channel. The biggest reason to be part of this channel. We are launching Crypto School on Monday. Finally, after lots of hard work, we are launching Crypto School on Monday. We're going to be taking in 100 people to Crypto School and then 100 people to Sniper School. Remember, Crypto School is free. And you know why Crypto School is free? Because of people like Celsius, people like Binance, people like Bybit who are willing to sponsor you guys to get you into school for free. So we're going to thank our sponsors on Monday, but they will allow you to get free Crypto School. That's one of the reasons to join the channel. The other reason to join the channel is because only subscribers to the channel can get 9935. So if you want 9935, here he is, 9935. The last NFT giveaway for this week. Next week we got alien giveaways, right? Lonely aliens. So next week we're giving away lonely alien NFTs. We want you guys to learn about NFTs, and the only way we're going to get you guys learning about NFTs is if we actually give you the NFTs and you keep. We'll show them on Monday. Okay, we'll show them on Monday. Jimmy, the sound guy here, says we should do it. All right, let's smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Let's get on with the show today. We do have a big show. It is our Friday banter. But before we get into banter, I want to share some incredible news with you guys. Remember, we kept saying that Bitcoin is a value network and that the whole thing about Bitcoin and blockchain is network effects. And we defined network effects as the value of each user, or whenever a new user joins the network, it increases the value of the network exponentially. And so the more people join the network, the more valuable the network becomes, and therefore the more people join the network. It's like a telecommunications network. So if you imagine WhatsApp, for example, and imagine there are only 2 users on WhatsApp. I can call Vinny and Vinny can call me, and that's the maximum number of calls on the network. But if a third user like Mr. Biz joins the network, now that network has grown. I can call Mr. Biz can call me. Mr. Biz can call Vinny can call Mr. Biz. And I can call Vinny and Vinny can call me. So the number of calls or the value of the network becomes much bigger with each user. Well, we're seeing true network effects, not only in Bitcoin, but in crypto. And the network effects are so exciting that I actually want to take you guys through this report before we get into our Friday banter. So the report was published by crypto.com. And they said that the number of global crypto users reached 221 million. Okay, that is not the number of global crypto addresses. That is a calculation which they've done, which talks about the number of crypto users, actual individual users in 2021, in June 2021. That's exciting. But the more exciting part is it took 4 months to double the global crypto population from 100 million to 200 million, which means that it took us 11 years to go from 0 to 100 million users. And it took us 4 months to go from 100 million to 200 million. And today, as we speak, the rate of signups of new crypto users is about 350 to 400,000 addresses a day. Okay, that's what we're talking about today. And although Bitcoin drove the growth of crypto between January and February, the biggest surge in users actually came after Elon Musk took on Bitcoin and created the ESG FUD. And the growth of crypto users was actually spurred on by small little shrimps, users that hold between 0 and 0.1 Bitcoin, right, Freddie? Less than 1 Bitcoin. Less than 1 Bitcoin. Altcoin adoption was spurred by the influx of new users who were interested in tokens like Shiba and Bitcoin. So we're seeing an unprecedented growth and in increased momentum in the Bitcoin and crypto networks. Now, I want to show you some very interesting numbers. Look at the number of accounts, the growth in the number of accounts since January. In January, there were 106 million crypto users around the world. In February, 125. In March, 129. And by June, there were 221 million crypto users. And remember, this is not number of addresses. This is the actual number of users on the network. And they have a very long formula, quite a complicated formula to work out the number of users versus the number of addresses. They make assumptions on the number of addresses that each user has and the overlap between Bitcoin and Ethereum, and they get to this number of 221 million users. What's also interesting is that whereas Bitcoin, of course, was the big daddy, Bitcoin has lost its spark, and users who are coming into crypto are actually coming into crypto for altcoins. And that's obviously spurred by the Shiba Inu users, the Doge users, and the whole TikTok population that we brought into crypto. So whether we like them or not, what we can see over here, Bitcoin's percentage is the dark navy blue, and the yellow is all the altcoins, and the light blue is ETH. So what you can see is that between January and February, the majority of users in this ecosystem were actually here for Bitcoin. January, February, March, April. And then in May, when Elon Musk tweeted against Bitcoin, the users came into crypto and not into Bitcoin. And that's really what this report says. It says that the growth of crypto is actually being spurred on not by Bitcoin, but by actual crypto. So why is it too late, Freddie? I mean, I think it's too late because we've now got huge network effects. The number of users on the crypto networks, on the Bitcoin network, on other networks, is doubling every 4 months. Can you imagine? Can you imagine that for 10 years, Bitcoin grew to 100 million users, and then in 6 months, It went from 100 million to 200 million. I wonder how much by the end of the year. Let's actually ask our Banter guests to join us and find out what their predictions are for the rest of the year. So first, we're going to bring back someone who we all love and miss, Mr.
Ryan, how you doing, man?
Good. I'm so good to hear from you again, man.
Yeah, man. You've been killing it with the guest last week. You know, it's cool, man. It's cool. You know, Sam from FTX, he's only a little bit more important to me, so I get that.
Look, he may be a bit more important than you, but he's definitely not richer than you are. So
that is very false, Ryan. Very false.
any plans to sponsor a sports stadium?
Sponsor a sports stadium? I don't know, man. I don't think.
I mean, the Mr.
Well, I'm in New York, man, so I don't think the Yankee Stadium would ever rename to FTX Stadium. That's not happening.
I'm thinking more like the Mr. Biz Yankee Stadium.
I like the sound of that, man. Let's do that.
All right, let's bring in Vinny Lingham and let's bring in Alex, who were here with us last week. Guys, welcome back.
Hey, Ryan, how's it going? Alex, hey, guys.
Great. Guys, give our guests a big love. Smash the like button, subscribe to our channel. Let's also give away Astro Friends number 9935. The only way that we're going to give it away is if we get 5,000 likes before the end of the show. What do you say, Freddie? Yep. All right, guys, the numbers. 220 million users in crypto. Vinny, I'm going to throw this one at you because you've been here since 2011, since the whole thing started. You've watched the grind. Are you surprised by the numbers?
No, I'm not surprised. I mean, this has been a growth curve that you've been able to plot for many, many years. And Bitcoin and crypto always goes through these sort of step function growth curves whenever you have a boom market in crypto. I've seen like 4 of them now, 4 or 5, I think. And you know, I guess this is just part of the adoption curve. In fact, if you think about it, like crypto is less than 5% of the world is using crypto right now. Now, like I'm not sure, and I haven't seen this report. I'm not sure are they including PayPal addresses, Venmo addresses, and Square Cash and those sorts of things as well. Because if you look at the number of users who have access to all those different wallets, it's probably a lot more than 250 million people.
So they do make assumptions. They make assumptions about the uptake of Square, of PayPal, of Square. But I think the shocking thing for me is you're seeing real exponential growth. And you know that once a network gets this kind of exponential growth, there's no way to disrupt it. It's game over. It's the same way that the social networks can't be disrupted. It's the same way that YouTube can't be disrupted. Because, I mean, you're now talking about 15 million people joining crypto a month. Those are the numbers now. In July, it's expected that 15 new people will join crypto, which means that 9% or 10 or 7% or 8% of all crypto users will join in July. And then it's growing at an increasing rate, which is, for me, it's unfathomable. I mean, if it carries on increasing at this rate, this is going to spread very, very quickly.
Yeah, this is one of the things which I've made many times. I'll make it again now. Is the beauty of crypto and Bitcoin in particular is that it's actually the attack surface area is actually very decentralized, right? If we lived in a Bitcoin maximalist world and there was just Bitcoin, it would be very easy for governments and whoever else to shut down one crypto. But you cannot shut down the entire industry at this point. It's just too big. It's too diverse. And so in many respects, like the crypto industry is actually a bit of a smokescreen and a shield for Bitcoin, because now it's just like, well, if you shut down Bitcoin or you try to, it's going to go to another crypto, which I think is a really good thing overall, because now we have the freedom of choice.
Alex, what do you think? Are you surprised? I mean, I know Celsius has bigger growth than that. I know that Celsius has 226 million users, right, Fred?
Yeah, so I think what we've seen in the phone business, right, is that basically, like you said before, the network effect is extremely important, and it's because I can call you. Here, the network effect that everybody gets rich, right, because the value of the crypto itself increases as more people join. So I don't even need to send you a message. All I have to do is join and hodl, and everybody's value increases, right? And so nothing like that has ever happened in human history. So, and if you get on the bus before everybody else, you get rich faster. So how early you got on the bus, or how much you're adding, how much you're hodling along the way, determines how much richer you get, right? So normally in traditional fiat, the opposite happens, right? More people join, more money is being printed, everybody's is debased, everybody's value decreases. But here, because of limited supply, we actually have the opposite effect. So acceleration means that all of us who are holding, all the OGs are going to make most of the money, but it's fine. There's plenty also for the newbies, the shrimps, the guppies, the plankton that are joining now, and because it's just the beginning, right? We're just getting started here.
Let's look at what Willy Woo says, which is pretty interesting. Willy Woo says that a blow off top happens in a cycle when the shrimps or the small accounts are FOMOing in. And you can see that in 2017, where at the peak of the bull run in 2017, you can see how many big bubbles of shrimps climbing into Bitcoin. Small retail hands who are coming here because they want to make money. And then you compare that to where we are today, and you can see that we're nowhere near the blow off top. In fact, it looks like we're actually in the beginning of another bull run. You take that, you correlate that against the Plan B stock to flow model and the linear regression chart, which Raoul Paul tweeted the other day. In fact, I'll try and find us that tweet. I did show it to our community yesterday. It does feel like we're in for a 2013 type quick recovery and massive shoot up. Is that the feeling that you guys are getting?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like, 2 weeks ago I was on your show and some of the other guests thought they could buy more Bitcoin at 20,000 and 50,000. And you remember I said to the both of them, you're not going to get any coins because you're too greedy. And it's not going to go below 29,000. I think I don't see us revisiting those levels again because, again, all of this newbies coming in are creating new demand. The sellers, which were miners and other type of sellers, are now not selling, right? If I'm a public company and I'm mining, I get a higher valuation if I hodl my Bitcoin. I get a lower valuation if I actually monetize it and pay for my electricity, or I pay for something else with my Bitcoin, right? By converting it into dollars. So the selling pressure is lower, the demand is higher, prices are going higher.
Piers, what do you think? Are you surprised by these numbers?
No, I'm not surprised, Ben. And one thing we have to recognize is look at the global climate, right? Look at the narratives in the world with inflation and COVID. And then for the first time, when you have big people publicly, like Michael Saylor and Elon Musk, publicly coming out and talking about cryptocurrencies. And we just saw what happened with Jack and Cathie Wood and Elon Musk. And so we've never had events like this to constantly keep crypto visible to the mainstream media, right? We just saw Fortune magazine. If you guys saw the cover of Fortune magazine, have crypto avatars on the cover, right? And so people can't escape it. You guys have had it. I've had it. Family members asking us when to buy crypto. And you know what? Dogecoin has helped. Ethereum has helped. Everybody's played their part. And if we're looking at right now, as Alex said, the time to panic was the day where I think it was the 19th of July, Bitcoin went to 29,000. And it didn't bounce, and I was a little bit nervous. I said, "Wow, why isn't it bouncing to 30,000?" Because we've seen every time it goes below 30,000, it usually bounces quickly, and that ended up being the bottom. And I was cautious there, and I didn't get there. I waited about 2 days to get in after that into Ethereum, but that ended up essentially being the bottom, and we've gone on what looks like, and I think the stat was 8 consecutive green days might have been the record for 5 years, and I don't know if anybody has that stat, but to have 8 consecutive. Yeah, to have
so eight consecutive green days only happened 5 times before, and 9 consecutive green days, which didn't happen because we got a red day yesterday, only happened twice before.
And so there's a couple of ways to look at this. Are people looking at, I don't think this is an exit rally, and I think before we've had plenty of times when we've had pumps where people are using to exit the market. I think the bullishness is back, and it's a lot to do with that Elon Musk Jack conference. And Elon Musk, I mean, listen, he didn't really sound uber bullish on Bitcoin, but he didn't FUD it, and I'll take that, right? And, I'll take him, saying that we'll revisit it if Bitcoin can be more energy efficient. But I think that's the catalyst. And I think people need narratives, right? I think people looking outside and saying, why should I get bullish again? And in people's minds, they'll rationalize it and they'll say, oh, because of Elon, that's why we're pumping. And I'll take that. And honestly, this does look like the beginning of another bull run.
I know that you didn't buy Bitcoin when Bitcoin recovered, because I know you well enough to know that you're not a Bitcoin man at all.
No, I bought Ethereum.
And you didn't buy Cardano.
No. No. I would not buy Cardano. I would not do that to my family.
Okay, so what did you buy?
I load up on Ethereum.
Only Ethereum.
To this point, like in May, I tweeted out, like, kind of at the peakish of the well, there's a couple of things, but like I've been saying that, and I'm not the only one who says that 2021 looks a lot like 2013, which means that we had this like double bull run in the middle of 2013. And it looks exactly the same. It's very, very it's very similar in the way it feels as well in terms of the market sentiment. And so I think we're going to see that again in this year. And you saw my tweet I put out afterwards. It's like, I think if 30,000 held, which it did, we're going to see 100,000 this year. And 30,000 did hold. I mean, if we had gone down to 20,000, I think this would have been a bear market for maybe in a year or two. Who knows? But 30,000 held, and that's a really good sign. And now we're back up to like 40,000 ish. So I see 100,000 by end of the year at this point.
Right, but here's the problem though. Here's the problem. If you missed, like many, and I'm pretty sure many people miss these moves waiting for dips. If you miss this move, which we're talking about a 30 to 40% increase on Bitcoin and Ethereum within a week, when do you wait for the dip? Are we gonna? I honestly don't know. I mean, I've got fiat I got stable coins on the side. Are we gonna get a dip anytime soon? Because it seems like today's dip was essentially just yesterday's lows, right? And I think there are a lot of people on the sidelines waiting to get in. There's
a 50-50 chance this is a bull trap. Okay, it's not clear, but there's a 50% chance this is a bull trap where we'll find out once we clear 45K. If we get above 45K, then it's going to go crazy because people are going to all pile in. If we can't break 45K, there's going to be uncertainty and we go back down and test 30K again. That's just kind of where the market looks like from a charts perspective.
I agree with Vinny that we still have to clear. I don't know if it's 45. I think it's more like 41, 42. So I wouldn't wait until 45, but it might be one day difference between the two.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
Exactly. Once it clears that level, Alex, like it's gonna run. Okay, so there's some major resistance between 42 and 44-ish. It's hard to predict exactly what the levels are, but in the mid 40s, there's this like heavy resistance of sellers, and it tends to be at about 75% of the previous sort of bubble high, or but like the 63K, like run about 75% of it is where there's uncertainty. Once it clears that level, it's gonna run. Okay, and then it'll run hard, and then it'll break 63 with as long as there's momentum, and then we'll go and see 100 plus. So
I think it was July 19th. I was trying to find my tweet, but didn't want to be rude to you guys. But I think it was July 19th. I tweeted saying that Coinbase marks the top of the first half, and that was basically everybody was FOMOing in and basically got crashed. Buying at the top on the day Coinbase went public, and July 19th was the marking the bottom because you had this confluence of both basically GBTC unlocked. There was a lot of fear about that. There was obviously also Bitcoin was not behaving the way it was supposed to, right? There was a lot of fear in the market, liquidations from China, from the mining, from all this other stuff. And we held very, very well over there. I mean, we held 3 times, and that's why I think I said in that tweet that I mark that as a bottom. We'll see if I'm right or wrong, but again, the amount of supply where everybody thinks it's 6.25 Bitcoin every 10 minutes, you can cut that by half because more than half of the miners now are not selling. Half of the hash power already publicly announced that they're not selling their Bitcoin, right? All these companies that are going public, Core Scientific, Riot, Mara, us, right? All the top people already said we're hodling all of our mined Bitcoin. So your supply is now cut by half, right? What do you think is going to happen to the price here? Who's the seller?
Yeah, I want to just touch on this. I want to touch on two things. I think that what we've learned in the last 8 days is that you cannot try and time a Bitcoin market. You have to ladder in and hodl. Because if you missed the last 8 days, you missed 30% or 40% returns on your money, from 28 to 40,000 to 41,000 on your money. The second thing that I look at here is this is 2013. 2013, we hit the top. We crashed by 80%. We had 86 days between the time we crashed and the time we hit a local bottom. And then we had 6 days where we had green candles in a row. 200 days or 114 days after that, we reached the price of the high, which in this case would have been $64,000. That's all good and well. This is what happens afterwards. So I want to show you what happens afterwards. Okay, that's what happened immediately after that. So Vinny, you mentioned this feels like a 2013 type recovery. If the market does anything near this, we're going from 64 to 115. So you're talking about almost 20x.
Well, Ron, remember, that was like a subscale market, right? Now we're at scale, the numbers are bigger. It's like saying, hey, I can turn 5 cents into a buck easily at 20x. Yeah, you can do that. Can you turn 5 billion into 100 billion? It's not that simple, right? So the numbers have gotten bigger. Just law of large numbers. Do I think it's going to go up 20x? No, but it's very likely we go from 63 to something like 150, maybe 200-ish. I think it depends on the rate of acceleration of buying. Like if it happens slower, it's probably going to be better. If it happens I'm always a big fan of slow and steady. But if it goes up too quickly, yes, then you go to like kind of a blow off top and a crash. And that's probably not good for us. If we go through another bear market because it hits 250, 300 and then crashes down to like 50 or 75, the bear market's going to be long like the last one. So, I'm always a little bit wary of the bear markets scenario. I prefer to see us go from 63 to like 150-ish and then go pull back to like 100-ish and then just go sideways for a while and retest 100. You remember, like these levels have to be tested. And when you go up slow and steady, you're effectively absorbing buyers and sellers at every level all the way up. When you skip by 10K, 50K sort of segments of the market where there were buyers and sellers and they weren't evenly matched, the market always comes back to retest and revisit those levels. And that's what we're seeing now anyway with, when Elon and Michael Saylor bought up from 35 to 63, kind of pushed the market up. There were a lot of people who were willing to sell, but like it takes time to like activate coins, move coins, etc. Look, my take on this is if people are watching and they're looking to get in and they're trying to figure out, don't try and guess the market. Just do a cost average every day or week or month, depending on how much you want to deploy, and just get in over the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months. Cost average in. Don't and what I also tell people is whatever you put in, don't expect to take out anytime soon. This is like a 5 or 10 year investment horizon. So you buy it slowly and you leave it. Like I haven't sold any Bitcoin in over a year. Like it doesn't matter, right? I've got my position, I'm leaving it, and it doesn't matter to me. I'm not trying to time the market on a long-term basis here.
If you look at the market today, I remember the other one was 89 days. If you take the top over here to the bottom, you've got 97 days. So, I mean, it really does look like a very, very, very similar pattern in terms of timing, in terms of everything else. It's almost uncanny. It's almost
there's a reason for it, right? Like one of the main reasons for this pattern is that what you're finding is it's kind of what Willy Woo identified, right? Like you don't have this like mass retail, coming into the market. Like you didn't have that in 2013 either. You didn't like the 2013, the first hump was insiders. Okay, it was crypto insiders building up and buying up those coins. And that was post-halving, et cetera, et cetera. And you have the kind of the same thing right now where it's a lot of institutional money maybe, but a lot of like, institutional insiders, like crypto companies have raised money that are buying up crypto. Like this is not a retail fueled boom. This is just insiders buying, people doubling down in positions, people who have, and one of the things we find in crypto right now that's actually helping is a lot of people have subscription buying activated on Coinbase and other services where they're accumulating every single month, whether it goes up and down. And that stabilizes the price to a large degree because you have this constant stream of buyers, the shrimps buying lots and lots of Bitcoin every single month. And that's good for the ecosystem as a stabilizing factor. You haven't had the blow off top yet because you haven't had all the institutional money come in and just run it up. And there is a lot of accumulation happening. So you've got a pretty steady baseline. That's why I think that 30K is a good bottom right now in this cycle. The next cycle may induce FOMO, and that's when things get a little more dangerous.
So the thesis that I've been talking to our community about is I've said, when I hear that whales are buying Bitcoin, it doesn't excite me. When I hear that shrimps are buying Bitcoin, it excites me a little bit more than when whales are buying Bitcoin. But the most exciting news for me is when people are buying Grayscale Trust. Because for me, that shows that the institutions are coming in. We know the institutions aren't buying Bitcoin because they don't want to get the headache of storing it. They're much happier to buy GBTC shares, to store them with a normal custodian. Very few of them are mature enough to be storing their Bitcoin by themselves. So for me, the biggest metric in this market is demand for GBTC. When GBTC demand goes up, that is for me an indicator of when new institutional capital is coming into the market. I don't believe that whales who have been here for as long as Vinny's been here, and by the way, Vinny is a whale, I don't believe that any whale that's been here for that long is an indicator as to whether the market is bullish or bearish, because most whales have been bullish since the beginning of time and will continue to be bullish. What we need is new entrants to the market.
I think it's more about stabilizing the market, right? Like if the whales aren't selling, that basically ensures that the supply doesn't get unlocked, right? So whales effectively control inflation in these markets. And I'm obviously not a whale in every single coin, but in certain coins where I have a big position, I don't sell and I'm holding, and that stabilizes the market, right? Because there's less free float. And that's a good thing. And that applies to Bitcoin more than anything else. In Bitcoin, there's a lot of coins that just never move. There are a lot of people holding a lot of coins that aren't going to move them for 5 or 10 or 20 years. Satoshi's coin is a good example, and that stabilizes the market. So the point of whales is, you're right, whales aren't accumulating as much, and it doesn't matter. They're not they've got their positions, they're holding it, they're not adding to the position. Maybe they add a small amount, but not that much. If you look at all the Bitcoin wallets out there, a lot of the OG wallets, they haven't had any movement. No one's put coins in there. It's pretty dormant. But that's a good thing because that supply is effectively locked up. I mean, Alex can add to this. He's
no. These are all good points. I think look, 2013, $1 million moved the market, right? I mean, all that jump, one person buying $1 million, like the Winklevoss twins or whatever, moved the whole market 10-20%. Here in these markets, you can put $1 billion and you're not going to move the market, right? Because the market is so much bigger. So you have to understand that, like when Kathy Woods talks about putting $10 million into GBTC, that's nothing. On whatever June 19th, I bought more than $10 million. So it means nothing, Ron. So the price of GBTC does not actually tell you much. The discount doesn't tell you much because the people that are holding it for a variety of reasons. For example, some of them are holding it just so they could hold it for more than a year and pay long-term capital gains instead of short-term capital gains, right?
Exactly.
So I would not use that barometer or thermometer. We're Celsius. We got to use thermometers, but to look at the price, right? I think most of the action happens now between the spot market and the futures market, right? Those are the two that I would say tell you what's happening. And like you said in the beginning of the show, max pain was inflicted on the people that were short. $1.5 billion was liquidated effectively in 8 days. And this might be just a few very large players squeezing all the people who thought they were smart trying to short Bitcoin, right? So we need to, like Vinny said before, I think we need to see, is there a real momentum here? Is it a broad momentum, or was this just futures liquidations plus Elon and a few other people saying nice things about Bitcoin? That's not enough, right? But if you really have a mass of people, you have hundreds of millions of people joining, it's enough that each one of them buys 0.1 Bitcoin to move the whole market.
Biz, what do you think? Was this a dead cat bounce, or is this the beginning of a rally that's going to last? Tell me what you think.
I don't a dead cat bounce to last this amount of days. It's ridiculous, right? So I don't think it's a dead cat bounce. And again, a part of it is the narrative, right? What caused this was that Elon conference. Now, if this happened without that, people would have been like, well, there is no catalyst. Why did this happen? So I think in people's minds, they always need to look at a tweet. They need to look at an event as something that either was signify the top or signify the bottom, right? And again, human psychology plays an important role in all of this. So I think people saw that Elon conference as the Elon and Jack conference as the beginning of the second leg. Also, we talked about Bitcoin, going up 30%. Guys, altcoins, major alts have gone 50%. Polkadot Chainlink goes up 50%. Luna did about a 2x almost, I believe, from the bottom, right?
That's why they call me double your money man Rand, because Luna, because Arweave, because SFI.
I thought it was because Celsius added Luna to the wallet. No,
it could have been. There's Vinny's tweet from April 20th. If anyone thinks 63K is the top of this Bitcoin bull cycle, they're sorely mistaken. We may or may not get another pullback to the 40s, but there is at least another big leg up, and that was on April 20th.
And I think this is also possible. Does anybody not think that BTC perhaps can be consolidating on a range, and we can see ETH pump due to the EIP narrative? Isn't that? And I think a lot of people are counting on.
EIP.
I tweeted this morning. ETH is going higher, and I gave 5 reasons for that. So this is one of them. ETH is going to run faster than Bitcoin. I agree with you.
I agree.
Okay. So. Vinny says, Alex says ETH over Bitcoin. Biz says ETH over Bitcoin. Vinny says,
the thing about Bitcoin and what we noticed to date, and this can always change, is Bitcoin creates the headspace for other coins to run, right? So if Bitcoin is constrained, it just results in other coins being constrained as well. So before we start getting into the sort of as you guys know, I'm not a Bitcoin maximus. I think that at the $63,000 level, there's not that much headspace for the other coins to move. I think if Bitcoin moved up to 150K, you may see a lot more momentum in the other coins. I'm not the biggest Ethereum fan either. I'm obviously more into things like Solana over Ethereum at least in the medium to long term, and so. ETH could move. I just don't see ETH going to 10,000 or 6,000, 7,000 anytime soon.
Okay, hold on. You've just hit a nerve there. Top 5 coins, excluding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Filecoin.
You want my opinion?
Top 5 coins, excluding Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Filecoin.
Okay. So I'll take the others. I'll take the contrarian view here. Okay, I'll say that we have to keep an eye on Dogecoin. Okay, because you got one of the smartest guys in the entire world with probably one of the richest guys in the world.
Okay, thanks, Vinny. We will.
Double down. Keep an eye on Dogecoin. You can't exclude Filecoin. Solana is up there. I mean, these are all top 20 coins, right?
Solana, Dogecoin. Alex and Biz, this is coming to you guys next. Solana, Dogecoin. Carry on.
Filecoin? You can't exclude Filecoin.
We said no Bitcoin, no Ethereum, no Filecoin, no Civic.
I have a question. I have a question for the guys up there, and it's just because I've been thinking about this and I don't know the answer to this. Is Polygon Matic a substitute good for Ethereum?
I think a Polygon Matic is Ethereum. I don't think Ethereum exists.
But where does the value accrue to? Does it accrue to Matic or does it accrue to Ethereum? And if one gets value, does the other lose value?
I think that the value accrues to Matic. I think Ethereum is maxed out in value because if you're running things on side chains, which only talk to a main chain every so often, I think that the value now accrues in Matic, which is why I think if you're going to put money between Matic or Ethereum, put your money onto Matic. I think it's going to be a long time before people actually build anything on Ethereum. I think
I agree with you, Ron. I totally agree with you, and this is my argument for Solana. Because if you want a true layer 1 solution, Solana is better than Ethereum because Matic is taking a lot of the value away from Ethereum. So it's really a Matic versus Solana discussion.
Matic had a great run because there was no alternative, right? There was no real good layer 2 solution. Now you have Optimism, you got a few other solutions that are coming up, and basically a lot of that value creation is going to be distributed between them, right? And you have Uniswap partnering with other partners and so on. So
how many of the layer 2s have any type of traction other than Matic?
Because there was no alternative, but now that
Alex is right. Alex is right. It's basically like it's ETH layer 2 alternatives versus ETH. So the substitute good is ETH layer 2, and whatever the top 2 or 3 solutions are they collectively a substitute good for Ethereum? And if so, then that's layer 2, then what's the layer 1 winner? And then that's probably Solana.
I think I agree with you that Solana is a layer 1 winner. The question is, what do you call Kusama and Polkadot? Are those layer 2s? Because they're bridges.
Look, Solana has a liquidity issue, right? They don't have hundreds of billions of dollars in liquidity like Ethereum. So it all comes down to where the masses are living. You can create copies of everything on other chains, and you can have a layer 1 that is much, much faster. But if all you're trying to do is copycat Ethereum, you're not going to win, right? It doesn't matter if you're, Cardano, if you're Polkadot, or you're Solana. So,
that strategy worked for Microsoft in the 90s.
Ethereum
took on Apple.
Sorry?
If you look at the 90s, like Microsoft took on Apple, right? Microsoft copycatted Apple on everything, and they wound up winning because it was cheaper and more accessible to the masses. Like the masses can't really, like if you try using MetaMask and Ethereum transactions. Like sometimes I try and do a small transaction for $100, which is ridiculous. I mean, even though I can afford it, it's ridiculous.
But that's no longer a problem, right? So now that you have 4 different layer 2 solution on Ethereum, the cost on the layer 2 is the same as on Solana.
But
so where's the benefit?
Layer 1? But then what's the value of layer 1 if all the value of
layer 1? So now Ethereum is serving now as a store of value, just like Bitcoin is a store of value. Ethereum changed its role until it launches ETH2. So I think
Biz, what do you think?
Listen, I think Matic, I think Solana, it's a good scaling solution. I don't think anything replaces Ethereum. I mean, I think that's absurd to say that. We have seen the network effect and the value of the Matic increase, but I think that's probably due to deficiencies in Ethereum more so than what Matic is doing. What happens when Ethereum becomes more and more scalable? I
have a thesis here. I think it's along the lines of what Vinny's saying. So because ETH layer 1 is no longer scalable and in fact no longer usable and in fact almost impossible to develop on, builders have got a decision to make. They're either going to build on ETH layer 2, which is, let's say for argument's sake, Matic and anything else like Matic, or they can migrate chains. And if they migrate chains, possibly the best chain to migrate to is Solana. It's the quickest and it's the cheapest. There's no doubt about that. You can look at any other blockchain in the world. Solana is the quickest and the cheapest blockchain at scale. Obviously, there may be smaller blockchains that no one ever talks about. Solana has a huge backing. But let's go back to the ETH discussion. Because ETH is taking so long to get to ETH layer 2, developers are jumping to Matic. And they are building on Matic Polygon. Now, for those of you who don't know, building on Matic Polygon is actually building on a different chain. You're not building on Ethereum. You're using Ethereum virtual machine, but you're not actually living on Ethereum. You're living on a sidechain, which means that at terminal point, these sidechains gain all the traction, and the main chain actually no longer needs to scale as much as it used to need to scale because the sidechains have all the tractions. And so I think that, especially now with EVM compatibility on Solana being launched, I think in Q3, Freddie? Q3. There's this company's launched EVM compatibility on Solana. I do think that the value accrues on the side chains and the value accrues on the strong layer 1 chains that don't need side chains.
I agree.
Well, we'll see. Look, I come as you know, I come from the phone business. And in the phone business, even though there was fierce competition between all the companies around the world, everybody got together and created standards, right? The GSM standard, the basically, the fifth generation, the fourth generation, third generation, right? All these things were standardized, so it didn't make any difference if you bought a phone from Motorola or Nokia or from Huawei. You got it worked on the network, and here where we are fragmenting all of this capabilities, with each network trying to create their own little islands. All we're doing is making it so much more difficult for traditional finance to move trillions of dollars into crypto. So we're all losing when we are trying to steal from each other and create islands that don't necessarily have connectivity to each other. And I understand why Binance is fighting with Cardano, is fighting with Solana, is fighting with Ethereum or the Bitcoin clan, but all of us lose. You have to understand that all of us lose, because
I don't think so.
99.9% of the money in the world is still in traditional finance.
Okay, let's look at USDC.
One second. Guys, remember, we need to get 5,000 likes to give away 9935. We have to give away 9935 today because on Monday we're starting a new giveaway. There are 3,500 likes. There's 7,000 people in the chat, so obliterate that like button. Let's give away 9935. He needs to go to a good home. Otherwise, we're killing him. We're giving him the lethal injection. We're putting him down. Adopt 9935 or we are burning him. We're going to burn the smart contract. He dead. Alrighty, let's carry on. So, Vinny, you were going to say something.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, look. I mean, USDC is the bridge, as an example, right? Obviously, you got Tether as well, but like you got USDC is the bridge from the traditional, US financial system into crypto. You don't have USDC on Solana. You have USDC on Ethereum. I don't know, they're probably supporting some other chains. It's becoming a way to move money from the financial system into crypto, regardless of chain. It's chain agnostic.
I love it, but the problem is that the Janet Yellen and the chairman of the Fed are cutting off that bridge as we're building it.
No. They're just asking. Alex. They're just asking for KYC, DeFi regulations to come in. They're just asking for the financial system regulations to be sort of cast on top of crypto, which is fine. It can't operate in.
Did you look? If 8 states now have issued whatever cease and desist or demand for information or whatever to different crypto companies, right? So
why are they not?
This is not.
Why are they not stopping Coinbase?
They will. I'm saying my point is that Bitcoin and Ethereum. Look, this is a very important point, right? The only 2 assets that were declared not securities by regulators are Bitcoin and Ethereum. Everything else could be categorized as a security, and the fight is on XRP. Now, the closest thing to be maybe a security is if you take a stable coin and you create derivatives on it, right? So now, again, none of us know. We're all sitting and waiting for someone to tell us what is legal, what's not legal, what is good, what is not good.
Every single stable coin is a security. There's no other way to look at it. So my point, my point is that if the only 2 things that can pass through the checkpoint and actually make it to Valhalla, right, is Bitcoin and Ethereum, what do you think happens to all the other tokens and all the other coins? It doesn't matter if you're Solana or if you are Cardano or if you're whatever, right? You're going to be stopped at that checkpoint. So you have to think about it also from this crackdown in regulation. The regulators cannot go back and say, sorry, we made a mistake. You know what? Ethereum is with the old guys. Only Bitcoin is allowed in. There's 2 guys who have a diplomatic passport. Let me make a point. 2 guys have a diplomatic passport. Everybody else is still waiting for exit visas. All right, Mr. Biz, I want to know your 5 best coins. You're not allowed to say Bitcoin. You're not allowed to say Ethereum. You're not allowed to say Filecoin. I don't know why I said that to him, but
all right. So I'm gonna go. So Thorchain, which by the way, Rand, you asked what else I bought. I bought Thorchain after the second hack.
I also bought Thorchain after the second hack, and I told the community to buy Thorchain, and that's why they call me Double Your Money Man, Rand.
Because it almost did a 2x since the hack, and people don't understand that there is nobody else doing native BTC swaps, right? No, everybody's doing tech stuff. Yes, and so I'm looking at that instead of Solana. I'm looking at FTT. lower market cap. I think with the $18 billion valuation of FTX, and I think the FTT token might be undervalued, so I'm looking at that rather than Solana.
FTX is taking on Binance. FTX is the new Binance.
Good narrative. It's a really good narrative for that token. I'd rather take that over BNB right now. I mean, I'm not even touching BNB. Hold on one second, Rand. I had this written down. Polkadot, of course, because I think Polkadot, people in my comments spamming me, Booz, Polkadot got killed. I said, yeah, it got killed. That means it's going to have a bit better recovery than most. So it dropped 70-75%. So Polkadot's got to be there because parachains are coming later in the year, right? So, and parachains are going to cause a pump.
Who wins in the Polkadot decentralized exchange game, the AMM? Who's your favorite player in the DEX game for Polkadot? Because the DEX role in Polkadot is huge because it's one DEX across all the native assets issued across all the parachains. So it's the biggest DEX player in the world. Who wins that?
There's one that hasn't come out. I can't right now, Rand.
Okay. Cool.
There's one that's come out. There's a few on my list. I don't want to pick one. There's a few on my list, but I don't want to say which one I think is going to win. But there are a few, but I think there's going to be one that's going to come out a clear winner. I'm also looking at Chainlink. They got the smart con event coming out. I think Link at $20 is undervalued, and I wish I would have bought this sooner, man. But I'm looking at Luna, man. Luna, to me, the ecosystem. If people know what's coming with Luna and their ecosystem,
I told you 35 cents. I begged you at 35 cents.
Man, my guy Johnny Zcash told me at $1 and it went to 20. And that's probably the biggest regret I have is not buying it, but not understanding it more. And I think that's what happens. I don't want to call myself a Polkadot maxi because I do believe in other ecosystems. But I'm gonna look to get into that on a dip because I think long term that's gonna be one of the next big ecosystems to flourish.
So I must say, my 5 that I bought, Alex, is coming to you next, just so you know. The 5 that I aped into, I aped into a lot of coins. I aped into Axie Infinity because I wanted exposure to play to earn games. I aped into Rune because I just thought it was unnecessarily devalued. I thought the hack was the biggest opportunity of our lives. When I saw the hack, I was the happiest guy in the world. Yep. I was the happiest guy in the world. I saw the hack and I phoned my trader and I said, listen, get hold of as many Thought Chain as you can. And he's like, you're crazy, it's just been hacked. I said, just keep buying. Because the hack for me was an opportunity. And I think that's a lesson. The lesson is that if you have conviction in something, when the price goes down, I get happier than ever because it gives me, I love Luna. I wish the price of Luna would go down. I wish Luna would hit $4 again. I wish. Can't imagine. Maybe they get hacked. I want them to get hacked. Something should happen so that it can go $4.
If your project can get hacked 3 times, if you get hacked 3 times in a matter of a week, and you can do a 2x from the bottom, that's bullish.
Yeah. What else? I'm always buying Arweave. For me, Arweave is the number one. The smartest people building. It does decentralized, not file storage, but a chain that stores data forever, which is very different from what Filecoin does. But for me, Arweave is the number one. The other one that I took a big risk on was Thor Starter. So I watched the launch pad on Thor Chain go from huge all the way down to 6 cents. And then I said, you know what? At 6 cents, this thing's going to recover. And I told the community. And if they listen to me, what do they call it? Double your money, man, ran. That's why they call me Double Your Money, Man, ran. That's what they call me. And it's not me. I have birdies. And the birdie came in. The Thought Chain birdie came in. The Cardano birdie came in this week also. And then the Amazon birdie, well, rest in peace. The Amazon birdie gave us wrong information this week. It told us that Amazon was going to accept crypto, and that's what happened. Alex, 5 minutes left. What are your 5? No Celsius, no Bitcoin, no Ethereum, and no Civic.
So any announcement on the weekend that is from a large company is usually fake news. Don't believe any of that stuff, okay? Because usually people do that to move markets and take advantage of low volume. I don't have any conviction for any of the current guys because I'm still in the show me phase. If it's Polkadot or Cardano or all the guys, many of the guys you guys were talking about are still in the show me phase. And so I don't have a winner. I know there's going to be a big winner in NFTs. I know there's going to be a big winner in layer 2. I'm waiting to see who that is, and then I'll be plowing some dollars.
If you wait, you're going to miss out on the massive gains.
I understand, but I can't. I'm again. We're managing, $15 billion. I cannot make moves. I mean, like, for me to put a few $1 million doesn't mean anything, even personally, right? Doesn't mean anything. So
give it to me. I'll put it for you.
So we got to see, and again, we don't take positions, we don't take directional positions, but basically when we earn in kind, when we earn in those coins, we either decide to keep the coins or sell the coins. So it's the same thing like investing money, right? So I think there are going to be several large winners. I think the winners are going to be people who solve something new. Again, not try to steal NFT business from Ethereum or steal the DeFi business from Ethereum. Anyone who tries to do that is not going to do well.
We have 2 minutes left. Vinny, I want to ask you this. Vinny and Biz specifically, I want to ask you this. I'm watching people buy in-game assets, NFTs, land in assets, cards in assets. I'm watching this industry explode. I'm watching gaming companies or companies that want to develop games not have to go to VCs anymore, but rather to pre-sell land against the Howey test, of course. I mean, they're definitely securities, but you're buying land in games that are not yet developed. Question: how does this end?
Well, hold on a second.
Hold on. Let me finish the question. Okay. Do we get to a point where one day these metaverse lands are worth billions and billions and billions of dollars, or does this all end badly, and are people holding NFTs in games that have been abandoned?
It's probably not. It's not. I have a different view on the land thing. I don't think it's a security. Like, I've bought land in Sandbox, for example. I can go and develop that land right now. I can go and put up buildings and Minecraft style things and attract people to it. It's not a security. It's virtual land. So I think it's very different. Like, I don't think it's fair to lump everything in crypto as security or not security.
It's not a security. How does this end? I mean, do you think that one day in Sandbox, these things are going to be worth millions of dollars, or do you think that this is a phase and lots of people are going to get left with?
Well, so they've limited the amount of space, right? So there is a space limitation. There's only so much land out there, and there are only there are millions of companies out there who want to be able to develop things in a virtual reality space. So do I think it's going to be worth billions individually? No, but like some land, if you buy it today for like $10,000, maybe worth $100,000 or $1 million in years to come, depending on how you develop it, right? If you build attractions that people want to come watch, it's great. Like, I look at like Somnium Space, for example, the VR virtual world. You can go in there right now. You can get some land. You can build a museum. You can buy NFTs from Maker's Place, and you can put those NFTs in the museum, and people can verify in a virtual reality world that that's the original art piece, and it's an NFT from whoever created it. So there's, it's broad brushstrokes in the crypto space is just very dangerous because not everything is as simple as that.
Yeah. Okay, we do have 1 more minute. So we only have 4,000 likes. So join us on Sunday morning for the funeral of 9935. We will be putting down 9935.
Peter's going to come after you, man. Seriously. They're going to be protesting.
All righty, guys. Listen, guys, it's been amazing. I mean, I wish we could carry on forever, but after 1 hour, YouTube kind of destroys our content and doesn't circulate. So love you guys madly. Thank you so much for being here. Love the debate, love the banter. That's why we created this place. We will see you guys again next week. And for the banter community, we'll see you on Sunday morning, bright and early, for the funeral of our beloved 9935. Look at his face. He knows he's getting slaughtered. We'll see you guys again on Monday, 6 a.m. EST for Sheldon Show, 10 a.m. for the other show. Until then, if you are trading, you know what to do.
Get the fuck out of bed, bitch. Go.